How did I actually get from Kazakhstan to Germany? What documents did I need? How much money did I need? And what should you prepare before coming to Germany? In my previous video, I shared my story of going through repeated rejections and eventually making it to Germany. And many of you asked me to share the rest of my journey. In this video, I'll explain how I found my university, what documents did I prepare, what happened after I applied, and the costs you should be prepared for. When I went to Kazakhstan, honestly, I didn't have any plan to apply for other countries. I was fully satisfied with the quality of education there, and I planned to complete my bachelor's degree in Kazakhstan. However, the scholarship was not fully funded, and we were not legally allowed to work while studying. And also, after graduation, we would have to return to Afghanistan. Because of these reasons, I wanted an opportunity that I can work while studying and I can build my future in the country where I studied. That's why I started looking for other opportunities. And that's when a friend of my brother told me about the University of Europe for Applied Sciences, or UE in Germany. It is a private university offering programs in English language, and it provides different scholarships and different amounts of tuition discounts opportunities for students, and depending on their academic performance or application documents. So I applied to the University of Europe for Applied Sciences, and I got accepted into the software engineering program. There is one thing very important I want to clarify, that this is a private university and this is not a fully funded scholarship. The university can offer different levels of tuition fees according to the students' performance and academic documents. So in my case, I received the highest amount of discount, which is 50%, and I pay 3,175 euros per semester for tuition. Now let's talk about the documents. If you are applying for a bachelor's program, I recommend preparing all of these documents before you start your application. A CV that in most cases they will ask you to sign it out, a copy of your passport, a recent photo, your secondary school certificate and transcripts, proof of language proficiency that I will talk more about this later, a motivation letter, and for some Afghan citizens they will ask for Concur exam result as well. But don't worry, if you didn't attend Concur exam and you do not have the result, explain your situation when they ask you for the Concur exam result. For master's applicants, additionally, you need your bachelor's certificate and transcripts, and for MBA applicants, they will ask for work experience as well. But these are all the documents that apply for all applicants, but maybe for some programs there are different documents that they will ask. Please check the official website of this university, that I will leave the link of this website in the description, that you can check by yourself. What if you don't have an international language certificate? If you are applying for a bachelor's program and you do not have TOEFL, IELTS, or any other accepted international language certificate, do not immediately assume that you cannot apply. If your other documents and requirements are accepted, the University of Europe for Applied Sciences may offer you a language placement test to assess your English language level. If you take the test successfully and your level is recognized as B2 through the placement test, then it's okay, you're accepted. And according to my experience and my friends, the placement test for the language, it's very easy, especially if you have already a good understanding of English. And for master's applicants, there is a different option. If you have completed your bachelor's degree at a university where the language of instructions was in English, you may not need to provide any international language certificate or take a placement test. So overall, if you do not have TOEFL or IELTS, don't give up. Check the requirements for your program and contact the university if you have any specific question. After you prepare everything, you submit your application to the university. The university reviews your application. If your application is approved, the university will contact you and ask you to take an entrance or admission test. Because I applied for software engineering, the questions were from mathematics, physics, and English for me in the entrance test. However, the test was easy, but I suggest you to take preparation for the test as well, not only preparing your documents. Now let's talk about one of the most important parts, money. I want to divide the expenses in two categories. expenses before coming to Germany and expenses after arrival in Germany. What are the expenses before coming to Germany? As I mentioned previously that I paid 3,175 euros for tuition fee. But when I was applying for this university, they asked me to pay one full year, which means 2 semesters in advance, which was 6,200 euros that I needed to pay this amount before receiving my invitation letter. And without this payment, I could not proceed my application. And this is for Afghan students that they ask you to pay one full year before receiving your documents. And another expense is blocked account. This is a very major expense that you should keep in your mind. And if you want to get your German student visa, you need to support yourself financially, which is blocked account. And in 2026, the amount is 11,904 euros for 1 year, which means 992 euros per month. And when you arrive in Germany, they will give you monthly that amount, which is 992 euros. And another expense is visa fee. I personally paid 100 US dollars for my visa fee, but the official German national visa fee for adults is 75 euros, but it can vary depending on the payment method or exchange rate in each country. And another expense is the flight ticket. After you get your visa, you need to pay for your flight ticket as well, but it can vary according to, for example, from which country you are flying to Germany and something like this that I cannot tell what amount you should pay, but you should be prepared for that. Now let's talk about your expenses after you arrive in Germany. Accommodation will probably be one of your biggest monthly expenses. As a new student, you cannot directly get an apartment by yourself because you do not have a German employment contract or high income. Because of this, most of the students live in a shared apartment where they share kitchen or other facilities with each other. And they roughly pay from 300 to 600 euros per month for each person for each room. Also, you can look for private dormitories where the expenses can vary from city to city or from dormitory to dormitory. Food and daily expenses. For food and your basic daily expenses, you might spend 200 to 300 euros per month, depending on your lifestyle. Health insurance is also mandatory. I personally have my insurance with Barmer and pay 151 euros per month, but this amount can differ depending on your health insurance provider and your personal situation. For internet, you might spend around 15 to 30 euros per month, and this amount depends on whether you use a SIM card or a mobile data plan or a Wi-Fi at your accommodation, as well as the provider you choose. And don't forget transportation and the semester contribution. In my case, the semester ticket costs around 226 euros per semester, which means 6 months. For public transportation, it means that in 1 year, you will do it 2 times. What are my actual monthly expenses? And I want to be transparent about something in this moment. I live with my brother and I don't pay for accommodation and food separately as a student who lives alone. And I didn't calculate my own expenses. And the numbers I give for you and the figures, it is according to other students and my friends. I know their experience and they reported to me the numbers that I gave you. But please consider that don't think these numbers fixed because it can change depend on your city, accommodation, lifestyle, your spending habits. Now let's talk about one of the biggest reasons I chose Germany, the opportunity to work while studying. International students in Germany can work 140 full days or 280 half days per year. Alternatively, during the lecture period, a student can work 20 hours per week. During the summer break, the students are allowed to work full-time within applicable framework. It means that your salary will be calculated hourly, and the minimum German salary is 13 euros and 19 cents. Approximately, it is 14 euros. It means that if you work in 1 week 20 hours and your salary is 13 euros and 19 cents, you will receive approximately 1200 euros in a month. and this number is not fixed. Your salary can vary depending on your skills, your experience, the job you are doing, and your German language ability, and the number of hours you work. After hearing all these expenses, you might ask, then why did you choose Germany? For me, mainly it was about the future. I wanted to study in English, have the possibility to work while studying, and after graduation, stay in Germany. Germany was not the easiest and cheapest option for me, but after all those rejections I experienced, I decided that this opportunity was worth taking. Thanks for watching this video, and I'm going to open the actual website of the University of Europe for Applied Sciences and show you exactly how to upload your documents and get the admission in the next video. Stay tuned and figure out more.